The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready. This is the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Today I have Siloh with me, and I absolutely adore him. I think he's like the most incredible man in the world, and he does so many amazing things. And really, I mean, kudos to you, because you are such a good guy, and you do so much for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's awesome.
Yeah, so for some of the people that don't know you, because we do have viewers from everywhere, why don't you introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about what you do, because you do so many incredible things.
Sure. Well, again, my name is Siloh, and what we do as far as an organization is we do a ton of giving back, paying it forward right here in our valley in Las Vegas. And a lot of that paying it forward or giving back is geared towards those who are less fortunate. Less fortunate to us is anyone who's unemployed, underemployed. Basically what that means is like maybe a single mom and single dad who has like 4 kids in a household, maybe works 2 part-time jobs and still can't keep food in the fridge. We serve them as well. And we also serve those who are homeless.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so, and we serve them through a weekly event that we've happily dubbed Give Forward Mondays, where we go out and we serve those who are less fortunate fresh food, clothing, hygiene, haircuts, love, hugs, you name it. So
That's awesome. Now, I think it's so important to help the community, because I don't even think people realize like how big of a problem homelessness is in Nevada.
Yeah.
And even not homelessness, but very low income families and stuff too. It's a very difficult thing, and you see these people working their butt off and doing everything, and they just can't survive. And so that's amazing that people like you are stepping up to the plate, and you started this amazing organization.
Yeah.
And doing that. So I mean, really, that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, like us as a group organization serving hope, we're independent. So essentially what that means is that we're not affiliated with any major charity. Everything that we do and gift comes from our own personal kitchens, or it comes from our own personal closets, or if there's nothing that they can necessarily gift that comes from their closets or their kitchens, they come and they gift their time, and they'll gift an ear or a shoulder for someone to lean on. So that's even as important as bringing something down to serve.
Absolutely, because some people don't have people to talk to and don't have anyone there to help support them.
Right.
So there you go.
Yeah. So
yeah. How did you actually start this? Like, what made you get the idea for this?
So I started Serving Hope 3 years ago, going to be next Monday. And yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Coming up on the 3-year anniversary. Time flew by so fast. Like I like literally so fast. I feel like I went out and started it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it flew by so fast. And you know, started with a single pot of spaghetti, and I went down into the homeless corridor with that pot of spaghetti, and I served 30 people with it. And then after I served that first initial 30, the next initial question in my mind was, well, I wonder how many I could serve with 2 pots of spaghetti. So a little question like that. I went back the following Monday with 2 pots of spaghetti, and I served close to 60 people. And then I just went home and I told somebody what I did. And the following Monday when I went back, they came with me.
Oh, wow.
And then it seemed to be a trend. Like every time someone came down, they would just bring someone else with them. And we just started to grow and grow and grow. So, and what started that, the whole reason why I went down and served that first pot of spaghetti 3 years ago, next Monday, was because a little over 3.5 years ago, I was homeless here in Vegas.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was homeless here for 7 months, homeless off of Rainbow in 95. I didn't have a car to sleep in, so I didn't sleep in a car. I didn't have a couch to sleep on, or friends with couches that would let me surf on their couches. So I had to do what I had to do. So I basically slept in like abandoned buildings and ate food wherever I can find it.
That is amazing. So how did you actually get out of that situation and be where you are now?
Yeah, so I literally had someone just come into my life and was just like, I'm not giving up on you. And so, at first I was like, hey, leave me alone. Like, who are you, right? and I like being in my funk, right? And he was just like, no, I'm not giving up on you. And just every day he was there, every day. And eventually I started to believe him. He said, you're not this, you're not your circumstance, you're not, your situation, you're more than this. And eventually I started to believe him. And when that started to happen, things just started to switch off and switch on in my mind, where it's like, okay, maybe I can do this, maybe I can get out of this. So eventually I just, 7 months homeless, I'm wearing the same clothes, haven't showered or anything. I'm sure I don't smell pretty good, right? and because of him, I just started going on job interviews. And I literally probably went on about 40 job interviews before someone eventually gave me a shot, which was like job interview 41. And he literally hired me simply because the job was commission only. So he wasn't taking much of a risk on me. He was like, hey, if you work, you get paid. If you don't, oh well. But I didn't care because all I needed was an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, I gotta say that truly is fantastic that not only did you get help and you made an incredible thing, you gave back to everyone. And that is so important too, because a lot of people, when they get the opportunity sometimes, or when they make it big, they forget like everything else that happened to them. But you didn't. You gave back, and you're trying to help more people, and that says a lot about you. And wow, that I didn't know any of that. That's
thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so when I went down and served, essentially it was just me basically kind of paying homage or giving back to where I just came from. So it was like me paying respects.
Yeah.
Right? It was just like, I'm going to go do this, and I don't know how, this is my first pot of spaghetti, right? So I'm like, I don't know how many people I'm going to serve. I don't know if I'm going to serve 30. I don't know if I'm going to serve 3. But I'm going to go do it. Right, because I'm going to pay homage to where I just came from, show appreciation from being able to get out of it. And my thought was, if I can go down there and serve 3 people, at least I kept 3 people out of a garbage can that night. Right, so, and then it just kind of, that passion and drive just kind of like other people started gravitating towards, and we just started to grow, and then we started to serve more, and we started to do more in the community. And still, even today, we do tons of stuff in the community, and it's all for free. It's just all volunteer, it's all love, it's all hugs, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if I'm not being nosy, I think a lot of people always, like, not all the time, but there's some people that look at homeless people and like very judgmental, I find sometimes. Are like, oh well, they could. So how did you actually find yourself in that situation, if I'm not being nosy? Because so many people are so judgmental.
You're being so nosy right now. No, but it's okay. Like the question's, it's valid. So yeah, absolutely. So for me, like, I'm not what you traditionally would think of when you come across someone who's less fortunate. Even myself, before going through the journey, myself, I was even judgmental, right? If I saw someone on a street corner, I was like, hey, they're either a drug addict or an alcoholic or have mental challenges, right? But like, I'm not those things, right? I was living paycheck to paycheck, and one Friday when I went for my paycheck, my boss is like, guess what? You're not getting paid. And I was already a month behind on my rent and 2 months behind on my car payment. So, and then when I didn't get paid, rent didn't get paid, the car didn't get paid, and then it was just a downward spiral from there. But yeah, I don't do drugs, I barely drink, and I don't have any mental challenges that I'm aware of. So like, yeah. So now I have a deeper appreciation for those who are less fortunate, because I know they're just regular people.
Exactly.
Like, I know it because I'm a regular person. Right.
Yeah.
So when I come across someone who's less fortunate, I look at them differently than most people do, because I know it's probably just someone who came across some hard times and literally needs someone to believe in them so they can get back on their feet. My story, right? Just like me.
Yeah. And that's I just, like, it gives me chills that you did all that. and it can happen to anyone, and I don't think people realize that. And it is that one paycheck, or all of a sudden you're fired and stuff, and you have a million other things you have to take care of, and it just goes out of control. So, I mean, and people, I think there's a lot of people more understanding now, and I think people are bringing more attention, people like you are bringing more attention to it, but it's still, there's always going to be that judgment out there, and there really shouldn't be at all.
Yeah, but it's there, and it's okay, because you kind of need that contrast to be able to know the right way and wrong way about going about things.
Right.
So you're gonna have those out there that are gonna be judgmental, and of course those are probably the same people who never gone out and served a sandwich, probably never have gone out and spoke to someone who's less fortunate. But then you got the other side of it, which is like someone who's compassionate against those who are less fortunate, and they probably have gone out and served sandwiches, they have gone out and actually spoken to people who are less fortunate, so they have that view versus the other. So usually when I talk to, like, I'll go out and do like speaking engagements, and I'll talk to elementary schools and I'll talk to high schools, and when they ask what's the one thing that I can do if I see someone at a street corner holding a cardboard sign and my mom doesn't have any money, or we don't have any snacks in the car or any water, like what can I do to help that person? I usually say, just wave. Like, just acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Roll down your window, ask your parents first, but roll down your window, right? And just be like, hi, like, because that's the most important thing. Like, for me, as I was going through it, like, the hardest part wasn't not knowing when I was going to eat again or know where my next meal was coming from. That wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was not having an address to go home to at the end of the day after, like, work or whatever, right? That's not the hardest part. Like, the hardest part was the way other people treated me while I was homeless.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't treat you like a human being. You're
no,
just,
So and it's tough too, because like most people, right? Most people treat you like you don't exist, like you're a ghost. Like, they'll walk down the street, and if they see you at the street corner, like sitting on the, laying down or whatever, they'll purposely, like, even if they're walking in your direction, they'll purposely cross the street at that intersection and then continue walking in the same direction on the other side of the road, so they don't have to see you or pass by you. God forbid you were to say hi or ask them for $1 or whatever, right? So it's like that kind of little stuff that most people do, that when you're homeless you notice a lot, like every 5 minutes of the day, that really, really like drives it into your heart, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's
and then that brings it down even more, and you lose hope even more.
So it's tough, but it is what it is. I don't know how else to say.
People
it is what it is.
They need to accept people and reach out a hand.
So but like it's really as simple as just saying hello. Right, because they are being, they're treated like ghosts all day long. So, and believe me, you never know how far that hello can go, what it can do to their self-esteem, what it can do to their belief in who they are. And gosh forbid you were to notice them and smile at them, then it's like, oh, I am a real person. I can probably get out of this. Oh, well, let me see what I can do to get out of this, right? Just simply because you waved and said hi.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing. And, there are some times where you're like, well, I don't have any money, or so it's a perfect thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just acknowledge that they're human, like anyone else. And so what are you working on now? Because you always seem to be doing new things.
So we've done, we've been like so blessed over the past 3 years from what we've been doing, from our weekly serve that we do, where we serve those who are less fortunate. Last year we started adopting schools. So we started adopting elementary schools, Title I high schools. Basically what that means by adoption is kind of like our term is, basically like we're there for them when other people say no. So if they're running short on, bottled water, we'll do a community drive where we'll raise bottled water for that school. And we just did one about 3 weeks ago where we raised over 9,000 bottles for a local Title I school.
Wow.
So, and there's 550 kids in the entire school. And after we counted every single water bottle, we figured out that every single kid would get 17 bottles of water.
Wow. Awesome.
So and that's what we've been doing. We're going to focus more going into the next school year on more elementary schools and more high schools that have a quote unquote homeless population, where we can not only serve those kids or that child that's in that homeless population, but serve the whole school. So, we've been really blessed with being able to do that. We also do a food rescue program, which we started 2 years ago. And our food rescue program rescues unsold food, damaged products, maybe close to expiring food from like local grocery stores, coffee shops, sandwich shops, you name it. Right. And they gift us all that food for free, and then we give it out to the entire community for free, whoever's in need of, you know, food. And it's a door-to-door service, like almost kind of like Uber. Like we pick up the food and we drop it off at your house, and it's all free.
That's great.
But it gets dropped off to, again, single moms, single dads, 4 kids in the household, 2 part-time jobs, but still can't afford to keep food in the fridge. Yeah. So it's dropped off to whoever is in need of food. And yeah, we've been doing that for 2 years, and we do that now 4 days a week. Wow. So yeah, so we do our Gift Forward Mondays every Monday, and we do we call it Food Rescue Fridays, but it's really now 4 days a week, but it originally started off on a Friday. Yeah. So yeah, we pretty much live this. We're doing it 5 days a week now, almost 6 days. So, and last year with all of our programs in place, with adopting schools, well, we didn't adopt schools last year, but with the Food Rescue Program and Gift Forward Mondays, our little independent group served 64,000 meals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Incredible. That's
it's definitely incredible what like a small group of people can do when they're all on the same page and they're all aligned, and we all believe in the same mission and the same values.
It shows the power of like force and coming together and everything.
Yeah.
And how do people actually get involved and volunteer and stuff? What can they actually do to help you guys?
Yeah, with us, it's simply just come down and kind of share your time, share your story, share your expertise, share your food, whatever you want to bring down and gift with us. They can always contact us via email or on social media, like Facebook, because we were born and raised on Facebook. Like when we first started, we didn't have money for a website or anything, so we just kind of created a Facebook group page, and then the group page started to take off. And people who have never volunteered with us, it's funny, they're still part of that group, but if they see a need in the group, they're like, oh, I've got 5 bags of clothes, oh, I can make lasagna tonight, oh, and it's like, well, you've never been to Mondays. No, but that's how they contribute. So so I guess anyone who wants to get involved with us, they can do the same thing, kind of join our Facebook group page. If they see a need that we post in a group, someone might need something, feel free to raise their hand in a comment and say, hey, I can help, and this is how I can help. But yeah, that's pretty much, or come down and volunteer with us. Yeah. Awesome.
And you're also starting an incubator.
Yes, I know. So yeah, I tell you, like we
a million things. Yeah, but that's so cool. That's so cool.
We don't stay in place for too long. Like 5 minutes is too long for us. But it's kind of like, well, here's the way I kind of like to define it. It's like the more I give, the more I give back to the community, the more like the definition of giving changes for me. Right. So the more I give, the more the definition of giving expands. So like first I just wanted to go out and serve 3 people at a pot of spaghetti. And today here I am 3 years later, and it's like I want to make huge community impacts. Yeah. Like I want to change communities, not Las Vegas, not just Las Vegas, but like wherever there's like a homelessness challenge, like Seattle, Washington, Hawaii, PA, wherever there's a homelessness challenge, I want to go and change those communities. So so to answer your question, so yeah, I mean, we do a lot of things, but again, it's all giving. It's all within that same alignment of going out and making an impact in someone's life. Right. So I'm also, what I just started last month is kind of like a boot camp. And this boot camp is a matchmaking boot camp for business owners who want to connect with local nonprofits. Oh, so awesome. It's kind of like a re-education kind of thing too. What sparked this was I saw a article on Forbes and Forbes.com, and the article was literally, headline was, last 100 days, charity has spiked 29%. And I was like, interesting.
Right.
I was like, spiked 29%. Where did that 29% go? Right. So like, I started reading, and it went to, yes, it did spike 29%, if not higher. That was the average. And it went to all the huge nonprofits that everyone knows because they have big trucks, they have billboards, they have TV commercials. And I thought, well, that's not fair. Because there's a ton of like local guys doing amazing things where if they gave just $1 to those guys, they can stretch it and make $15 out of it. Yeah. Versus giving $1 to a huge national
corporation,
nonprofit, right,
right.
that's going to take 10 cents out of that and maybe gift it towards our cause.
Yeah.
Right, where everything else will get eaten up by admin fees or whatever and salaries. So I thought, well, again, it's just not fair. And I said, well, how do I change that? How do I get those guys to meet the little guys? Yeah. And how do we get them in a room and then show the big guys what the little guys can do, and then get the big guys behind the little guys?
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah.
So then it was like, oh, I get it. Okay, I'll just do a matchmaking like boot camp, right? Where I invite CEOs in, and I invite them in, and we sit in a room, and then I introduce them to founders of local nonprofits that are doing great things and are active and engaged in the community. And I go, hey, you should meet him. Boom. Okay, great. Now let's talk about social impact and what that looks like, and create an impact that actually impacts the communities with the money they're already gifting away for community efforts. So we started that last month, and it's been great. We had some really great for-profits in the room. We had some really great nonprofits. We had 15 for-profits, 15 nonprofits in the room. Yeah, and then we matched them up. By the time we were done, it was a 4-day process. We expanded the 4-day process over 4 weeks, so it was literally a month.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so it's a really drawn-out thing. It's not like, hey, you like to sing, he likes to sing. Hey, go form a band.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, no, like, let's think about this, right? Let's really get to the core of, what kind of music you like, why do you sing the music you like, who is your inspiration, asking the same thing out of this guy, and if you guys match up,
there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Now let's talk about recording and making records and da-da-da, right?
Right. Well, that's really cool that in the first month you've had so many people. I mean, honestly, I was expecting like 5, 15 on a first month. That's really
First go around, we had 32 people in the room. So, and by the time they left, we had 9 matches.
Oh, wow.
So we had matched up nonprofits with for-profits or business owners with local nonprofit founders who never would have met each other without this boot camp. And a lot of them actually got sponsored money by the time we were done, to kind of like, the for-profit was like, hey, I trust you so much. Here's some money from us. This actually will get our relationship started in the right direction. Let's go out and make an impact together.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and I basically ended our 4th day from our first boot camp ended about a week ago, and they're already starting to receive money, starting to go out and make impacts. They're starting to go out and do huge things. So yeah.
There you go. So, I mean, even for everything else, you're making changes for all these smaller nonprofits and for-profits and stuff. That's a really important thing, because unfortunately, I do think that sometimes they do get left behind, and people don't realize, like, oh, there's a bunch of like littler ones that are actually doing sometimes more than the major ones that are going on, but they're not getting any attention. So.
No, they're not getting any of that awareness, and these are local guys that can do more with less.
Yeah.
They can do a lot more with your more, right? So why not meet each other? Why not get together, see if you guys believe in the same things, and then link you guys up together, and then form a social impact that we can all get behind. That makes an impact in the community.
Yeah.
So.
True. And now, do you find like the city and county and stuff are actually like helpful with you guys, or is it kind of a problem getting with them and helping get help with them and stuff? Are they partnering up with you at all and stuff?
Yeah, so it's great question. So when we first started, we weren't a fan of the city, and the city wasn't a fan of us. But now here we are 3 years later, and we've formed a relationship with the city that's been fantastic. Awesome. And the city is really proactive at doing things to kind of end some of the, our homelessness challenge. Yeah. For us as a group, we are more kind of like rebels. Yeah. We're like, we're just gonna go do it. We don't have to have 15 meetings and
right? Exactly. Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna go do it. So but we love the support that they show us, because sometimes they do send me emails and they ask me to attend these meetings that most people aren't supposed to attend, especially regular Joes, right? Yeah. And they ask me for our insights and how they can improve things, make things more efficient, and move things along. And then I'll go in and I'll have those meetings, and I'll say, yeah, you can do this, you can do that, change this, change that, and for the most part, they listen. So yeah, so today, we actually love working with the city. When we first started off, we were to them nobodies, and to them it was just like no need for them to waste our time. They might as well just write us off, cross us off, whatever that is. So, yeah. But yeah.
At least it finally bonded. But
yeah,
it's so crazy to me that sometimes there is such a hesitation with people who are actually trying and trying to make it. That's so bizarre to me. But at least you're making the change and starting that going, because it's just, I don't know, I don't get it. But
yeah, well, I don't get it either. But you know, it is what it is. I guess, right? I guess if everybody got it and everyone did it, then no one would stand out. We'd all be just out there doing it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, really, everything you do for this community, and I think hopefully even the Las Vegas community and the people, the residents and stuff, are starting to get more attention to you, because you try and get your name out there everywhere, and I really hope that people are starting to pay attention to you, because what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we kind of, for us, it's just awareness. It's like doing your show is awareness. It's like your listeners can take some of what we've said today and go, oh, so if I don't have anything in my car when I see them at a stoplight or at an intersection or a stop sign, I mean, all I have to do is wave and that could possibly change their life? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like,
I learned that. I never really thought of that, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, so for us, it's just awareness. It's like just being out there, making sure we're at least giving people something to think about. Like, we're not going to change your mind. Okay, cool. But if we give you something to think about and your wheels start turning, then we've done our job. Yeah. Right? So, and of course, the benefit of that, of the awareness and being out there, is the fact that people go, oh, okay, how do I get involved? How can I come down and volunteer? Can I do this? And that's fantastic. But first and foremost and priority wise, for us, it's just we want to change the way people think about those who are less fortunate. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a million incredible stories, but do you have like a story that really impacted you with what you're doing, like something that really like was amazing?
Oh yeah. So as far as serving, like someone,
yeah.
Okay, so PG or rated R? We'll stick with PG.
Okay. We'll do both. Let's do both.
I just want to know, like, what kind of verbiage to use as I tell this story.
It's internet. You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Okay. So we have a few of them. So one of them is I'm not going to say his name for privacy. I'm assuming he probably doesn't want me to say his name anyway. So we had this guy that was in line, and we were serving him. This is at our Monday night event, and he was there for food and clothing and sometimes attention, because, like I said, most people don't get talked to when they're less fortunate and they're sleeping on the streets. So sometimes he would just come down Mondays just to have someone to talk to and someone to remember his name and say and mention him by his name. Hi, blank, But we saw a change in him. He started coming down Mondays, and he started coming down, and he was acting really, really crazy, like crazy. He would walk through our line and go, "You're an alien. You're an alien. I'm not talking to you because you're from Mars. I'm not talking to you because you live in the clouds." And I would walk up to him and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" Right. And he would look at me and go, "Who are you?" Now, I've been serving him for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I knew something was completely off with him. So basically I was like, "Well, I'm Siloh. I've been serving you for 6 months. You're blank. Can you tell me what's going on with you? Are you high? Are you like, what is going on? Are you having a mental breakdown?" Right? Went off on me, like, "I'm not talking to you because you're an alien too. You're probably the ruler of the aliens, blah, blah." Like, oh my gosh, this guy.
Wow.
And this happened over weeks. And he would show up and people want to kick his butt because he's like acting crazy and he's pointing his fingers and he's doing this, and he was just high out of his mind. So one Monday we showed up and he wasn't there. 2 Mondays we showed up and he wasn't there. 3 Mondays he was gone. So 2 months later he returned. Now this time when he returned, he didn't return in line. And when he returned, he walked straight up to me. And when I looked at him, just because last time I saw him he was acting nuts, and I looked at him and I was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, no, of course.
And he goes, "I'm fine." I go, "Oh, okay. All right. Where you been?" He goes, "I got in trouble. I got locked up." And I go, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear." He says, "But no, that's actually good news." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, I got to tell you, I don't remember anything anything over the past 2 months, 3 months. And I go, why is that? He goes, because I was high and I was doing a street drug. I don't want to name the street drug, but he's like, I was doing a brand new street drug. I've never heard of it before. I didn't know what to look out for. I didn't know any of that stuff. So I had no idea he was on it. And he says, the entire time I was in jail getting sober, he says, I do remember 2 things. And I was like, what's that? He says, I remember everybody online on Monday nights wanting to kick my ass. And he goes, I also remember you stepping in every time and telling nobody to touch me. And he said, I never got my ass beat because of you. He's like, you believed in me. You stood up for me when nobody else would. When I gave up on myself, you were there. And I said, yeah, it's what we all should be doing as human beings.
True, yeah.
And he said, from this point on, he's like, I am in total gratitude of you. So whatever you need, let me know. And he comes down every Monday now, but not to stand in line. He serves on the other side of the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, did he find his way out of poverty, or is he still...
Oh yeah, he's fantastic now. Dude drives a nicer car than me. He's got like 2 jobs, health insurance. He's doing amazing. And I just standing there, I'm like, oh, kind of jealous, but I'm actually really happy for you, right?
Wow.
He's doing amazing. He's got his kids back in his life. He's clean and sober. Like, he is just doing phenomenal.
And I'm sure that that just has to make you. I mean, you're not doing it for that, but you're doing it to help people. So when there are so many success stories and stuff, and I'm sure you've helped so many people, I'm sure that really has to mean a lot to you. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine knowing that you affected that many people and stuff. And I mean, he changed his whole life around and stuff. And sometimes, unfortunately, I do think, unfortunately, being locked up and stuff really does make someone realize completely different. But you're always there for him, and that changed his whole life. And it's those little things like that, and you never really think about it. So I mean, wow. I mean, and he's doing phenomenal. And yeah, that's great. It's great being able to, kind of see that evolve. Right, from going from a guy who was in line crazy and everybody wanted to kick his ass because he's calling them aliens, to seeing him now, right, working 2 full-time jobs. His kids are back in his life. He's clean and sober, drives a fancy sports car, has his own apartment, and it's great to see that transition. It's like the pursuit of happiness, almost. It's like getting his kid.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's also great too because now what's even more gratifying or satisfying is the fact that now I know he's going to go off into the world and impact someone else the way I impacted him, and that's truly paying it forward. Yeah. Right. So now he's going to go forward and he's going to impact someone else's life, and that person's going to impact someone else's life, and hopefully in 40 years we have a better planet. I don't know.
I believe
everybody
so.
impacting everyone. Yeah. So
I definitely believe so. Well, even him coming up and showing and serving food is really that shows you right there that he is making a difference and he's trying. So
right, yeah.
And do you still talk to the person that originally helped you out and made you realize?
No, I don't talk to him anymore. I mean, it's just I don't know, busy schedules.
Yeah.
I don't know, I really believe he stepped into my life exactly when I needed him, and then he stepped out exactly when he needed to step out.
Yeah.
Right. So, people aren't with you. Family, yes, but for the most part, friends, they step in, and they step in for a reason, whether it's to teach you a lesson or to help you along in your journey. And then when it's time for them to step out, they step out.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Right. So, and that's exactly what he did. So.
Yeah. No, but I really kudos to you for everything you're doing, and so I guess we're kind of getting more towards the end of our show. So why don't you tell people where they can volunteer, how they can get involved, if people got money that they can donate, and help out with that, everything. Where can people get everything?
Sure. So you can check us out on social media. On social media, we are Serving Hope. That's one word, LV for Las Vegas _official. And we do everything with a hashtag on social media, so it's easy for you to follow us on social media. So if you go to Facebook and just search hashtag Serving Hope LV _official, you'll be able to catch in your newsfeed everything that we do in the Valley. You can also join us by joining our groups on Facebook, sending a friend request to me, I guess. That always helps too. Siloh, Siloh, Moses, Moses. Or you can simply email us at servinghopelv@gmail.com. And yeah, we'd be more than happy to talk to you.
And if people do need help and stuff, where can they go with that too? Can they just go down to where you guys are going? And
You're more than welcome to send us an email. We'll add you to our, again, kind of keeping it PG, our kick-ass volunteers list, where people can actually, email us. We'll add you to our volunteer list, and basically, whenever we do any huge events or schools in need in the community, we usually blast out our email list and say, hey, we've adopted this high school. Here's what they need. Let's rally around this school and see what we can do for them. So even if you don't have time to give, or maybe food out of your own refrigerator or cabinets or clothing out of your own closet, feel free to shoot us an email. We'll add you to our volunteer list, and whenever we do anything huge community or any kind of give backs in the community, we shoot an email out to you and give you an opportunity to come down and serve with us.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. You were amazing. I'm so excited, and I think what you're doing is fantastic and truly incredible. So thank you so much. It was truly an honor.
Thank you for having me on the show. I want to thank you and John and of course Nikki and Lonnie, and that's our studio audience for you guys that aren't here. All four of them. Yes, and thank you. Thank you so much. So absolutely, and everybody who's watching this right now at home, online, on your phone, thank you so much for listening in, and kind of hopefully leaving with this with some really cool insights and some tips and some know-hows and a way to get involved in the community. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that.
Oh, of course. Once again, thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching. Please go support them in any way possible. Please go out, and once again, even if you can't donate anything, say hi to someone.
Yes.
That can really,
say hello.
Yeah, there you go. That can change everyone's life. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you, and God bless.